Hello, everybody. So I don't know where my young people, hello, talent, where are you? If you'd like to come out here, Ava, Aaron, EJ, and Jason, to the stage, welcome.
Trust me, so much stuff in many people. The future is not evil. The future is not vision. It's simple, it's efficient. Now the things are costing nothing. Is any of it good? Come and love me, read my nothings. Blogging river floods. Dead plant planted on the window ledge. Shadows dance, glint and blend. Plants slower the night outside.
So we're going to have an amazing conversation. We've got two OGs here and two YGs. I'm going to leave it to them because this is all about them. So guys, take over.
Okay, thank you, Lisa, for such a wonderful introduction. And welcome everyone to our talk today, No Retreat, No Surrender. This is all about AI, but hold on. Everyone talks about AI, but today we're talking about people, the human edge, reinvention in the age of AI. I'm Aaron Yearwood. By day, I work at KPMG in clients and markets, but by night, I'm a storyteller.
Yeah, I love that. I'm Ava Shoreland. By day, I work at Innovid. By night, classic Gen Z, doom scrolling on TikTok. Yeah, not much that interesting. And we're joined by two amazing guests. We have Emma Jackson, executive producer at the 5Gs. Round of applause, people. And then we have Jason Edwards, founder of Flintly. Give it up.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you all to tell us something about yourselves. But before we get to the business, we're going to do something fun. Has anyone here ever heard of the game Two Truths and a Lie?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so for those of you who may not be familiar, each of our guests is going to say 3 things about themselves. 2 of them will be true, and 1 of them will be a lie. And it will be our job, yes, dun, dun, dun. And it will be our job to guess which are true and which is the lie. So who would like to go first, Jason or Emma?
Okay,
Go ahead.
I got it.
Go ahead.
Okay, so my 3 things are, I never get out of bed unless it's a world first. I've had an Oscar-winning director beg me to be in his work.
Ooh.
I can see that.
Third one is, thanks to me, you're all 1 degree of separation away from Kevin Bacon.
Okay. Food for thought,
Okay.
that one.
Okay.
Food for thought.
So I think, here's what I think, Ava. Because the Oscar-winning director asking, like begging her to be in his work or her work, that's also a world first. So I think those 2 kind of tie together. So I'm going to guess that the 1 degree of separation from Kevin Bacon, that is your lie.
No, I disagree because
Well, what do you think?
I think Kevin Bacon doing ads
Gets
for
around.
EE. Yeah. So I think it's the Oscar one.
Oh.
Even though I can see it.
You've been doing
And
some
it can
snooping
happen.
about my
sorry.
work.
I have. Do my research. Gotta do it.
Okay, which is it? Tell us.
So my byline is that I only get out of bed for a world first, but it's a lie because I love doing a cute shoot as well. So the rest of them are true. I have had an Oscar-winning director beg me to be in his work, and thanks to me, you are all 1 degree of separation to Kevin Bacon. Thanks to an EE advert, which Ava snooped, looked into me, and found out that I'd done.
I did.
Good
Classic
homework.
stalker.
Good
Gen
homework.
Z, I'm always snooping.
Scrolling. Okay, Jason, how about you?
Good to you.
Okay, I have 3 facts.
Okay.
The first one is I've flown to Vienna to meet One Direction. The second is that I have 8 cats. And the third one is that I interviewed Ed Sheeran, but there was no sound on, so it couldn't go out on a news channel.
Okay. I'm trying to read the face, the body.
The
to
poker
see.
face is fantastic.
Yeah.
I can't tell.
I'm dying to wait. in.
I think the last one, you paused a little bit.
Okay.
Has been suspicious.
Okay.
And I think the cat one is the light.
Okay.
I think it's the cat.
Oh,
Cats
I
a
love
lot.
cats.
The cat one is the lie. Yeah. I only
Emma.
have 2 cats.
Oh, perfect. So you're a cat person.
I'm a
Okay,
cat
Okay,
person.
good.
Me too.
Oh.
Yay.
Okay,
Let's
lovely.
go. Well, I would love to know, now that we've got to know your poker faces with 2 truths and 1 lie, how did you start out in the industry? What was your first job? And like, what are the takeaways from that, the things that shocked you?
So when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, I had no idea that this job existed. Like, did not even think about it. I didn't know anyone who did anything like this. And so my first jobs were super prosaic. I think my first job was temping at an insurance company. And then I went to work for Volkswagen and Audi. And then because I couldn't think of anything better to do, I left home at 17 and didn't go to university, I decided to do something weird. So I moved to Australia, did a bunch of weird stuff there, worked for F1, worked for the PR department for a zoo, and then came back to London. And because I had weird stuff on my CV, I got interviews at advertising agencies. So that is like a core piece of my advice. If you don't know what you want to do, that's cool. Just do something weird, do something challenging, do something that makes you interesting to talk to.
Just do everything.
Yeah. Okay. And then since then, in advertising, I've been lucky enough to be in sync with the waves of new technology. And it's la, ended up an executive producer in Frontier Technology. So looking back, it looks like a reasonable progression, but honestly, I had no idea. I just went after what was interesting and what was new.
Yeah. Follow your heart. I like that.
Yeah, my journey was a little bit squiggly. So I started out as a journalist just from my bedroom. So I used to tweet with this editor who was editing a black music site for MTV. And then I would just like have this rapport, and she was like, "Do you write?" And I was like, "Of course I write." So then never written an article, and then went from having like no articles published ever to like writing about 25 articles a week for MTV about entertainment. And I treated it like a full-time job. I was not getting paid to do it, but I'd wake up every single morning at like 7 o'clock, find out what the entertainment news was, pitch them all, and then started from there. And then after about a year, I became an editor of that site when the old editor left. And then that ended up with me getting a job at MTV. They were just like, "You are absolutely keeping our sort of like black music site alive." So I got a job in social, working for them. Someone that I met was like, "I've seen all of your work. Have you done social media before?" And I was like, "Of course I've done social media before. Never done social media." And then, got the job, started working there, and worked there for about 3 years. And then went on to do social for One Direction. So that's why I flew to Vienna and went on from there.
Awesome, awesome. You know, something that really interests me personally is this story. Everyone likes to post their wins, the peaks of the mountains, but nobody really talks about the valleys. So my next question to the both of you, we'll start here with Jason.
Okay.
We started with Emma on the last one. I want to know about one huge challenge that you've had over your career, something that almost took you out, and how you made your way through it.
Do you know what? Apart from the fact I'm melting on this stage right now, I'm really hot. But I think one of the things, I think just in the spirit of the last talk about fucking up, like, I think for me, a big thing that I never really spoke about was getting fired from my dream job. So I worked at Netflix for 3 years, and it was like the pinnacle. It was like, everyone was like, "You've got the job at Netflix." It was like my first really high-paying job. It was like really fun, got to work on these great projects. And then one day, I just got fired. And it wasn't like a UK firing when you work for a US company. It's like, it was like, there was no consultation period. It was like, you go into the office at 9:30, and then that's it. And I was just sort of like walking up and down Oxford Street, and I was like, this is fucking shit. I was like,
Cutthroat.
I've just signed a mortgage, what am I going to do? But what I realized is I took a lot of lessons from that, and I was able to reflect on the feedback I got from sort of like my manager, and things that I'd taken in from the exit interview, and then take them into my next job. And it just made me fly. Like I had a different level of confidence. I was a different being, and I was like, if I'd known all of this before I started at Netflix, I'd be a different person. And I think it's taught me to be really fearless and now start my own business and do amazing things and go for like a venture scale business as well, not just like a small company. So it made me think bigger. It made me think more fearlessly and really lean in. But that was the moment, like, imagine telling your ethnic parents, like, I've just been fired, and they're like, what is wrong with you? Like, I think my mom was almost like, she was about to hit me, and then she remembered it was like 2023, not like the 1980s.
Can't do that.
Yeah. But that's my biggest fuck up, I would say. But I got past it.
I love that.
Yeah.
No losses, just
100%. You have to be resilient, and that's one of the things. It's like, it's not how you deal with a failure, it's how you actually deal with it, how you recover from it afterwards, and how quickly.
Lovely.
Pick yourself back up.
Lovely.
100%.
And Emma?
It's a great story.
It is.
My biggest so I like to think that my biggest fuck up is yet to come, because you do learn so much from it, and I actually view failure in a very different way than I did when I was younger. I used to think that you had to be perfect, that you had to, like completely overachieve, and actually frontier technology is the ability to fail in public, to iterate, to keep going. Social media and new ways of getting content out there, that's also about taking risks. And if you're going to take risks, if you want to be first, then sometimes you're going to fail in public. I have also been fired, for sure. I'm working class, I didn't have a degree, so I didn't have that alumni vibe or the mummy and daddy vibe to protect me at work. I've always been very outspoken, so I've definitely been fired, and that actually taught me if my space doesn't exist here, then I'm going to have to make it. And that's when I started working for myself. And that's when I realized that actually, you can lean in. I'm not going to use that word because that book is fucking terrible. You can make your own space, and if it doesn't exist for you, don't wait for somebody to give it to you, because it might be that you are too something for what's going on. That's fine. It just means you're going to do something different. And don't get me wrong, that's not super easy. There's a lot of things that come with that. There's financial instability. You have to take a lot on yourself. You don't have a team backing you up. It's not an easy choice, and I'm not going to pretend it is. But sometimes it is the only choice if you want what you want and you're not prepared to settle. And I think, like, when you get fired, it ends up being like, you know what? Actually, like, thank God, because that was not the place for me, and I was hanging on because I thought I should. But actually, the right thing for me was to get the fuck out and do my own thing.
Yeah, rejection.
I love that.
Yeah, rejection is redirection,
100%.
as they say.
Ava, you should work in advertising.
Well, so talking about redirection and changing, so you guys have done, obviously, a lot of different jobs, a lot of different places. Have you ever dealt with imposter syndrome, like feeling like you don't belong, and how do you deal with that?
I have a difficult relationship with that phrase, because I think a lot of the people who feel imposter syndrome, it's because their environment is pushing them down. And I also think that if you are someone who every time you go into something likes to take a step back and go, okay, do I have the skills to do this thing that I promised I would do in the timeline that I would do it? And if not, okay, how am I going to upskill? What other resources can I bring to bear on this? I don't think imposter syndrome is a negative thing. I think it's a positive thing if you constantly look at improvement. And I don't mean that in like an aggressive to your detriment way, but I think that's super healthy. What, I'm going to sit here and say I know everything? That would be gross. And also that wouldn't be responsible for the type of work I do. So I think there's a reframe on imposter syndrome. Like, so first of all, it's not always you. Sometimes it's your environment. And you've got to learn to look at, like, was this feedback, like, always listen to it, but was this feedback, how true was it? It might be 80% true. It's never 100% true. It might be not true at all. You've got to be able to discern the difference. And you've got to, and if you're someone who is constantly going, am I doing the best version of this that I can? I think that's amazing. I think that's super healthy.
Yeah, I think to build on that, it definitely is about feedback, because I think when I was very young and I got into the industry, I was so overconfident. Well, not actually, no, I was delusionally confident, and I believed I could do everything and I should be in every room. But it was actually someone using the word, and a manager said that she felt that I was overconfident when I had gone into an interview, and that made me think like, oh, is overconfidence actually a bad thing? And then from there onwards, I second-guessed myself, and I was like, am I not worthy of feeling this confident? What am I doing wrong? And then I think I found myself in that workplace going from someone who is like massively confident, believed in all of their abilities, to someone who would then second guess a lot of stuff. And I felt that actually followed me in my career for about 5 years. And it took me a lot of time to, seek feedback, speak to different people, figure out and do my own evaluating to find out that like, I am actually worthy of being in that space. I can go in, I can kill it, and I should believe in my own source. And I think that's such an important thing.
And it's one of those things that people pretend is black and white. It's not. If you're in a leadership position, if you're leading a project, if you're leading the charge, you do have to inspire confidence. And when you say "I don't know," you have to be careful about how you say it. It's not, there isn't this one magical answer. It's a dance that you have to do, and you'll reach points where maybe you were too up there, and you realize that actually, if I walk into something and I'm 150% confident, it means I'm not leaving room for any other voices. In all scenarios, that's not appropriate. And other times, you'll be too far the other direction because you had a couple of hard lessons, and you're like, right, this needs to change. I can't be all the way back here and down here when I'm spearheading something.
What's the greatest piece of advice you've ever received? Because Digilearning is all about mentorship. And I think that when I look at my own journey, through Lisa, through so many people who I see here, I saw Mary earlier, Shirley, so many incredible mentors who've given fantastic advice. So I want to know, what is the greatest piece of advice that the both of you have received from a mentor?
Well, first of all, Shirley and Mary are amazing mentors. You are blessed, son. You are blessed.
There she is.
There's my girl. The best piece of advice I think somebody ever gave me was, just stop, and take a minute, because I think when you're from a background that is not common in your industry, whatever that is, you're constantly running. You're like, oh, I've got to be on it, and it takes a lot for you to take a breath and just stop and think. And I think also there's a lot of pressure doing that, and learning how to be really present. How am I really going to be in the room and pay attention to the people that I'm talking to? How do they feel about it? What are they actually saying? That honestly gives you a whole new world in terms of making decisions and feeling comfortable and good about your decisions. So it's definitely that. It's doing that work on myself. So when somebody turned around and said, girl, you just need to stop and breathe, it sounds really simple, but it's honestly the best advice I ever had.
It's never something you can tell yourself, to stop. Sometimes you need someone else to...
Yeah, it's like, shouting, calm down.
Yeah.
That doesn't work. And it's a discipline, especially when you want to achieve, and especially when you first get those moments of, this is what I can do, this is what is open to me. It's tough to take a breath.
But it's the best thing, so agreed.
I think for me, the best piece of advice is to fail fast. I think one of the things that used to cripple me was being a perfectionist, and I'd be like, I can't launch this because of that. And even today, I was looking for, so I'm working on a proposal for Monzo. And I was looking through my laptop and I searched Monzo, and I saw a podcast proposal that I'd made for myself in 2017. And I worked on it for months and thought about the perfect guests and this and that. Never launched it. Never even bought a microphone. And I think that was something that followed me for a long time. And I used to think things need to be perfect for me to act on them. And then when I got into tech, what I realized is they ship thousands of different things every single day. They're not perfect. They have user bases of millions of people or billions of people, but they ship stuff and then they're like, this is crap, let me pull it back. But the thing is, they take the action to do it all the time. And I think Lisa and I were just talking backstage, and I was talking about when I left Meta, I was like, what do I do next? And I could have waited for the perfect job. But I saw that there was a gap in the market that hadn't been filled. So it's like, do you know what? Register a company, find yourself a co-founder, and build it. And now we're like probably the second company in the world that are doing what we do.
Wow.
And I think that was just because I didn't wait for perfection or like the market to mature. I was like, do you know what? Just get in your car and start driving. Get in, loser, we're going shopping. And that's, I think failing fast is definitely something that I'd implore a lot of people to do.
What's that phrase? If you're not embarrassed by your early work, you didn't ship it fast enough.
Exactly. I think I always say like, and I've got leaned into it a little bit more, but the people who succeed the most are so comfortable with being embarrassed. Like, if you're gonna, like, sometimes I post on LinkedIn and I'm like, this is gonna go viral. I'm like, honestly, I've worked for hours on this post, I've got the perfect picture, and then it's like, it's me and Lisa who have liked it. and you know what, like, you just have to post through the embarrassment, keep going, and you get amazing stuff like this because you post on LinkedIn or do what you're doing. So I think get comfortable with embarrassment and fail quickly. As I said before, it's about how you move past the failure, not like letting it cripple you. So, yeah.
We spoke a lot about being in the industry, like once you're in it, what's your advice? But how do you think young people can actually get into this space, this industry? It's so tough at the moment.
Yeah.
And then, sorry, also to add on to that, what skills do you think, because I would imagine that in the industry now with increased automation, that the skills that you needed to survive when you first started are very different to the skills now. So just to add, like, what skills do you think young people need in order to truly break in? Like, where should we focus?
Yeah, it's a great question. And like I alluded to earlier, when I couldn't think of the thing that I wanted to do, there's a lot of pressure, like, know what you want to do. I still don't know what I want to do when I grow up. I'm waiting for that moment. But in the meantime, I'm going to do what's interesting. I'm going to do what like furthers my interests. I think the skills that you need to succeed have always been there, but I think they're getting into sharper relief. I think it's becoming a bit more obvious. And so for me, I work a lot in AI, right? And if you work in AI and you're good at it, it's because you have skills that would have made you suitable for the tech industry, that would have made you suitable for the creative industry. So all of these things are a follow-on. And one of those things is having your curiosity be stronger than your fear. If you want to work in like the brave new world, you're going to have to ship it without it being perfect.
Yep.
And if that doesn't come naturally to you, then the thing to work on is have your curiosity be stronger than your fear. Being curious about things makes you think about how they work and how they can be better, and that is like a core skill. And the second one, and actually I'm not the only one who thinks this, if you look at Anthropic's definition of what makes somebody good at AI, what is proficiency in AI look like in terms of attributes, one of the biggest ones is don't take things at face value. And again, when you're from a minority background in the creative and tech industries, it can be hard to use your voice, so it's easy to let people say, oh, it's always been done like this, so this is how we're going to carry on doing it. But being iconoclastic, not being afraid to tear old structures down, it's a huge skill. And again, if you lean into your curiosity, if you lean into, but what could happen, it becomes a stronger force than being scared of doing it.
Yeah. I like that.
Great answer.
How are you going to follow that?
Probably quite badly. Okay, so I think what I would say is probably looking at my own journey, one of the things I did was sort of like, if I'd waited for that job at MTV or I'd just applied via the portal, it wouldn't have happened. So I think more so than like 12 years ago, we have everything at our disposal to actually make a lot of stuff happen. So think about like, how can I architect this career that I want? Like, and just like a lot of people pick up a camera, like, you know, I would say like pick up a camera, like think about what you actually want to do, like contact people. So like just reach out to people on LinkedIn, go to events like this. So when I got a lot of my early jobs, I would go to talks and panels and like find out who the speakers are that were going to be there and then just try to speak to them. And often you might not get a lot of time in the room, but if you find them on social media, just ask them a few questions, sometimes get a call in. I think that's a really, it's a really good skill to have if you can actually like build relationships with people because it will aid you in your career. And there are people who I met, like Lisa, for example. We worked on a project like 6 years ago. But if you're a person who is, well, one, a nice person, someone who is genuinely curious, you offer value to that person as well, it will take you very far. And I think, like, going into running my own business, a lot of the people who are my first customers are people that I met like over 10 years ago, but there was a value exchange. It wasn't like me trying to get a job or something else out of them. It was like I'm offering them some value as well. So I think really try to do a skills or value exchange, but also like don't be afraid to just take the step to make it happen. So as a filmmaker, like, do you start filming TikToks about making films, or whatever you want to get into? Like, I think forge your own pattern, and hopefully the opportunities will follow. If you're not very good at it, maybe not.
But then at least you know.
Exactly.
Right? Try it.
Yeah.
Try
Be
it.
fearless.
Yeah. Do you know what? It's not about being fearless. It's about doing it anyway. Everyone's afraid all the time.
Yeah.
Everyone's afraid all the time. That's what they don't tell you, because you just hear about the success stories. Like, for every millionaire businessman, he doesn't talk about the 6 failed businesses that he's already done. Everyone's scared all the time. The secret is you just do it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things I love is, like, do it even if your voice is shaking, and do it scared.
Yeah.
Do it scared. Wow, what a fantastic note to end on. I want to thank both Jason and Emma and my lovely co-host Ava for being with us today on this panel. I learned so much. I don't know about you, Ava, or our audience, but I learned so much. So thank you all for being here.
Aaron, Ava, pleasure.
Now shut up and drive.